Today we are discussing the Africa folktale of Obinna and his fake marriage with a twisted end. Watch the story to the end as we uncover the twisted life of Obinna. Thank you for tuning in to African Folktales with Nana. Like, share and subscribe as you listen to this captivating episode of African Folktales. Please drop your comments in the comment section. Let's begin. In a small African village, there lived a wealthy and well-respected woman named Agwu. She was known for her beauty, intelligence, and kindness. She was married to Obinna, a simple bartender who was loved by all in the village. One day, while walking through the market, Agwu came across a beggar. The beggar was a young man, about the same age as Obinna, and he seemed familiar to her. As she looked closer, she realized that he was her long-lost childhood friend, Chukwudi. Agwu couldn't believe her eyes. Chukwudi was once a bright and promising young man, but he had fallen on hard times and was now forced to beg for a living. She immediately took him to her home and provided him with food, shelter, and clothing. As the days went by, Agwu and Chukwudi caught up on old times and reminisced about their childhood. Chukwudi shared his story of how he had gotten into a fake marriage with a woman who promised to help him get a better life, only to leave him with nothing and run away. Agwu was shocked and saddened by Chukwudi's story. She couldn't believe that someone could be so heartless. She then made a bold decision. She would help Chukwudi get back on his feet and find a job in the village. As Chukwudi started working in the bar with Obinna, he and Agwu grew closer. Despite coming from different backgrounds, they found solace and comfort in each other's company. They laughed, they shared stories, and slowly but surely, they fell in love. However, their love was not without its challenges. Agwu's family and friends did not approve of her relationship with the beggar. They thought she was wasting her time and resources on someone who was not worthy of her. But Agwu didn't care. She followed her heart and stood by Chukwudi's side through thick and thin. Eventually, Chukwudi's hard work paid off and he was able to stand on his own 2 feet. He and Agwu got married in a beautiful ceremony, with Obinna as the best man. The village was abuzz with the news of the wealthy Agwu marrying a beggar, but their love proved to be stronger than any societal norms or expectations. And so, a beggar discovered a fake marriage and found true love in the most unexpected of places. Agwu and Chukwudi's story became a legend in the village, a reminder that love knows no boundaries and can conquer all challenges. Cuts not so quick to a happy ending. Rewind. Do you remember Agwu was married and still married secretly to Obinna long before Chukwudi came into her life? Yes. Rewind. A young, fierce and arrogant Agwu, 7 years ago, approached Obinna confidentially and informed him about a promotion in the office, but she was only going to get the promotion if she could tender a marriage certificate. She offered to pay Obinna a monthly salary for 10 years. Along the years, she paid him for only 3 years and started offering her body to him in order to avoid pain. Obinna, being the quiet one, never complained and kept enjoying the moments they shared. Knowing Agwu as an arrogant and powerful lady, he ignored all her tactics. Obinna eventually got married to Oluchi and had 2 beautiful children. Years passed by, Agwu and Chukwudi welcomed their baby boy in the city. Obinna, with his quiet and innocent look, had a secret lifestyle. Every night after working at the bar, he met up with ladies offering him money for pleasure. He had no preference, old, young, chubby, slim, but money was his call to action. His wife, Oluchi, never had a clue or even a slight doubt about her husband's escapades. Rather, she esteemed him for his caring nature and responsible attitude towards their home. One day, as Obinna sat on his rocking chair, he received a letter stating his attention was needed at the local court. Curious and worried, he hurriedly got his jacket, called his wife. "I'm going to work." Oluchi seemed a bit worried, but said nothing. Obinna ran to the elder's palace. As he walked in, he felt the stares and whispers of 5 ladies. "Elders, I present my humble self to you. With all due respect, I greet you all. Have your seat, my son," one of the elders in a dimly voice spoke. "Obinna, it has been brought to our attention that the works of the dark hours has made the daylight stop. Obinna, son of Kevin, your father was a responsible man. He never had a mistress. He respected your mother and the family unit. Obinna, your stories has filled the cities," he continued as he pointed to 3 ladies with children. "Do you know them?" he asked. "No, Papa, no. I have never seen any of them. They are liars. I have my beautiful wife and 2 children only, no woman again." "Shut up, son of Kevin, you have brought shame to your home," the second elder said as he stood up. Obinna fell to his knees in tears. "We have investigated and found out you are the father of these 3 children," as he flung a file to Obinna. "Papa, have mercy, please, my wife and family must not hear of this shame. It will hurt them. Please help me, what can be done so the women and children are cared for and never come back? After the fortnight we will contact you," the elder said. With shame and tears on his face, he thanked the elders and left the palace. Avoiding eye contact with the ladies and children, he ran straight to work. Confused and perplexed, he confided in a co-worker Ada, as she was popularly known for her antics and pleasure services, advised Obinna to use an infamous play card to solve his problems. "What? No, Ada. I can't do that," Obinna replied. "Okay," she said, "choose your coin, sink and ruin your family, or get paid, solve your problems, then leave town happily." Obinna, frantically confused, he remained worried for 2 weeks, waiting for the elder's report. His wife grew sick watching Obinna worry. Every evening, she wept bitterly, thinking her husband was dying slowly for no reason. He will refuse food or talk to anyone. One afternoon, as Obinna was walking to work, he realized the only option he had but to contact Agwu. "Agwu, longest time." "What a strange call," she replied. Nothing new to Obinna, he had always known her for her sarcastic ways. "Agwu, there's a problem. I need the money you owe me." In shock, she stammered. "How?" "I paid you in kind." "I need my money," he said firmly. "It's a serious problem between life and death." Agwu hesitated for a minute before rendering insult on Obinna. He was shocked by her response. "Agwu, why are you insulting me? After everything," he replied. Just then she continued with more insult. Silently, Obinna listened. Then he replied, "Not only do you owe me, I still have a marriage certificate, knowing we never got a divorce, and under the law you are still married to 2 men, which is a major crime." "Ah," Agwu screamed. "Obinna, you want to kill me?" Just then the phone dropped. While in the other room, Chukwudi heard his wife scream, so he ran to comfort her. "Sweetie, what's wrong? My husband Obinna wants to blackmail me," she replied as she laid on the floor screaming. As she confided in him, they made plans and decided to plot against Obinna. Worriedly, Obinna called back relentlessly, but no response. After 2 days, he decided to go to the city to find Agwu. It was his first time visiting the big city. The lights, the flash and splendor of the city amused him. Agwu must be very rich to live in such a place, he thought. As he got to her house, he was ushered in by her housekeeper, surrounded by an array of luxury cars. "Are you here to see my boss?" "Yes," he replied. "Tell her Obinna." Agwu, peeping from her bedroom window, sighted Obinna walking. She composed herself, with the plot in hand, hurriedly ran down to welcome him. "Obinna," she screamed, "welcome." "Oh, Agwu, you scared me. I've called you non-stop." No response. "Why, my dear, why? We are more than that, Agwu." Just then Chukwudi walks in. "Welcome, my brother." With his hands stretched out to hug him, they exchanged hugs, chatted like old times while drinks were being served. Chukwudi asked no questions regarding his visit, and Obinna said nothing about his call to Agwu. As night fell, The warm welcome led Agwu and Obinna into a heated conversation. Voices were raised until Agwu agreed to write a check as Obinna's settlement. Happily they concluded, with new plans and business ideas exchanged. It was a wonderful evening full of laughter and beer. The next day Obinna said his goodbyes and left straight to his small town in Etikiawena. On arrival, he went straight to the elder's palace and initiated a settlement for the 3 ladies and children. He insisted they never contact him or his family ever again. The elders agreed and warned him sternly never to commit any other sexual atrocities. They advised, encouraged and persuaded him to leave the city, build a vibrant, colorful future with his wife and kids. He thanked them all happily and left an envelope stacked with money for the elders as an appreciation. He signed a "Finally I can breathe again," Obinna whispered under his breath. Life continued as normal. 3 months later, he started convincing his wife that they had to leave Etikiawena to explore more opportunities in the big city. At first she was reluctant. "Obinna, is it worth it? We have a peaceful life here, the kids are happy, and we have family support," she said, but Obinna knew he had no choice but to convince her, because it was only a matter of time before whispers filled Etikiawena if he remained. 6 months later, she obliged and decided to relocate to Ebuma, another big city, 12 hours away from Etikiawena. As the excitement and dreams of a new life began, they contacted an agent that offered to make the relocation as easy as she could imagine. Family and friends were informed, and a farewell party was organized. Childhood friends, colleagues all saw them off to the park. "We'll miss you," his best friend Ebuka yelled while the bus drove away. Tears of joy filled their faces. The journey was long and tiring, but the scenery was so beautiful to behold as the kids looked throughout of the windows without nodding while Papa see the mountain, his daughter said often as they traveled. It was a wonderful and restful journey. The agent waited at the park waiting for their arrival. Unfortunately, the journey took 14 hours as compared to the 12 hours they were told. Tired and anxious, they hurriedly found the agent at the park, who picked them up in a jeep and drove them straight to the furnished 2-bedroom Obinna had rented ahead, in awe and amazement. Obinna's kids were so happy to see their new home. They hurriedly ran upstairs to choose their room and beds, while Obinna's wife cuddled into her husband's arms, kissed him and said, "You are the best ever, my darling husband." Obinna grinned in joy as he smiled and hugged her family. Life was beautiful as they settled into their new home, figuring out their new surroundings, neighbors and schools for the kids. 1 week later, at about 8 p.m. in the evening, there was a bang on the door. "Who is that?" Obinna yelled. "Open the door." Angrily, Obinna rushed to the door and forcefully opened it, yelling at the top of his voice. To his dismay, it was the police. His eyes popped out as he heard, "Are you Mr. Obinna?" "Is, yes," while Obinna responded. "You are under arrest for the death of Chinyo." "No, not me, you are wrong," Obinna yelled, as the police said the protocol and handcuffed him. He struggled, fighting to be free as he was buckled into the police van. He turned and saw Agwu standing in the shadows. In shock, Obinna screamed, "What, you Agwu? Why? Do you know anyone like Obinna? Please drop your comments. Let's discuss. Don't forget to subscribe, share and like. Thank you for watching African Folktales with Nana.